Good morning, students. Welcome to today's class, Calculus. Hope all are doing great and staying safe at home. Yeah? Okay. What is the meaning of calculus? Okay. But before I get into the topic, let me tell you this unit is very, very important for exam point of view. Okay, and I request all the students to concentrate and practice well. Okay, when I take the class, you can make a note in your classwork so that it's going to be very easy for you to understand the concept of calculus. Okay, students? All right. The word calculus comes from Latin word small stone. Okay, this is the meaning. Okay, it comes from Latin word. The meaning of calculus is just small stone word. Okay, small stone. Who invented calculus? Sir Isaac Newton and Leibniz. They independently invented calculus in the 17th century. Okay, they work differently. Okay, students, both of them worked independently and they invented the concept of calculus. All right, there are two calculus, right? Basically, you have a differential calculus and integral calculus. Today we'll be seeing about differential calculus. What is differential calculus? Which is nothing but cutting something into pieces to find how it changes. All right, that is the concept of differential calculus. Just cut into pieces to find how it's going to change. I'll explain with you diagram so that it's going to be easy for you to understand. This is the definition. You can have a look. It is a branch of mathematics concerned with study of the rate of change of functions with respect to their variables through the use of derivatives and differentials. Basically, it's a branch of mathematics which is dealing with the study of rate of change of functions. Okay, this is called differential calculus. Okay, we will see what is all about derivatives. Okay, introduction to derivatives. You can see a graph. You have x-axis, y-axis, and I have drawn a straight line here. Okay, and the change in x value is represented by dx, or you can say delta x. Both are correct. Change in y is dy, or you can say it as delta y. So I can write this even as, or I can write this as delta y. Okay, dx I can write it as delta x. We know the definition of slope, right students? Slope is change in y variable divided by change in x variable. Slope is equal to dy by dx, or we can write it as delta y by delta x. Okay, derivative is basically related to slope. To find the slope, what is the formula? Delta y by delta x, or we can say dy by dx. Definition of slope: change in y variable divided by change in x variable. You would have studied this in your lower class, right? Okay, so you can just take a note. You can have a look. Okay, students? All right. Now, how we are going to do this, we'll see. Okay, how we are going to find the slope of the curve. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is a geometrical interpretation of slope of the curve. Okay, so I have taken the x-axis and the y-axis. This is a curve. Okay, we assume we are going to find the slope of this point. Okay, so this point and this point. So I can write this as, in order to find the slope, we knew, right? It's dy by dx. Corrections? This is your change in x variable. I'll write it as delta x. And this is the change in the y variable. I will write as delta y. Even we can write dy, nothing wrong in it. Okay. Now, in order to find the slope of this point, okay, I should know the length of this. Okay, I'm drawing the line here. Okay, so I can take this point as x, this point as x, and this point I can take as change of x, that is x plus delta x. Okay, so what will be the length of this value actually? X plus delta x minus x. Am I right, students? Similarly, this we have taken it as a triangle. Okay, all right, what is our aim? We have to find the slope of this point, dy by dx. Now for this part, all right, if you're going to find the slope, before finding the slope, I'll just write the value of this side of the triangle. Okay, this one and this point. Okay, if I'm going to consider this as f of x, this point as f of x, this point will be f of x plus delta x. Okay, f of x plus delta x. So what will be the length of this particular side? What will be the length of this? It is f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Corrections? Yeah. Now we'll find the slope. What is the formula to calculate the slope? It is delta y by delta x, or dy by dx. Both are correct. Delta y by delta x. So what is delta y? This length, right? This length is your delta y. So the length is f of x plus delta x, f of x plus delta x minus f of x, divided by, what is delta x actually? What is the length? That is x plus delta x minus x. This will be the length, right, students? Delta x is x plus delta x minus x. Plus x and minus x will get cancelled. So your slope is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x, the whole term, divided by delta x. Okay, so this will be the slope at this particular point. Okay, if the point is getting lower and lower, okay, if this point is going to shrink, finally this delta x will be tending to 0. So I can write this as slope is equal to, okay, we have to take the limit, okay, limit delta x tending to 0. It should tend to 0, which is equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. This is the concept of differentiation or derivative. What we have done in this particular video, actually we have taken the slope. We have to find the slope of the curve. All right, so we know the slope is delta y by delta x. Okay, so how we are going to calculate delta x? We have to find the length of this value. So I have taken this point as x and this point as x plus delta x. Delta x will be x plus delta x minus x. Okay, that will give you the length of this delta x. Similarly, the other side of the triangle, delta y, to find delta y, will keep this point as f of x, all right, and then this point as f of x plus delta x. So this length will be f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Okay, students, then what we will do, we'll find what is the slope. Slope is delta y by delta x. I'm just substituting. Delta y is f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by, what is your delta x? Delta x is x plus delta x minus x. Okay, and then finally x and minus x will get cancelled. Then we have f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. And finally, delta x should tends to 0. We get f of x plus delta x minus f of x, the whole term divided by delta x. Okay, this is the concept of differentiation. All right, in the next topic, okay, we will see how we are going to use this formula. All right, use this formula to get the value of a function. Okay, you can have a look. Okay, I have taken an example. All right, what is the basic power rule of differentiation? Any idea? Basic power rule. All right, what is the basic power rule of differentiation? Any idea? Basic power rule. If you recollect, I'll explain in my next video the different rules. The basic power rule is d by dx, x to the power n is equal to n times x to the power n minus 1. Am I right? This is the basic power rule. Okay. Now what we will do, will apply this particular formula, okay, which we discussed earlier. We'll use this concept to find the derivative. Okay. How we are going to do it. Okay, we will see. This is the example. We have f of x is equal to x square. We have to find the differentiation. We have to find the derivative of x square. Okay, we know the slope formula. Just now we have to write slope is equal to, what is the slope? We have f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. Correct? What is a given function? Given function f of x is equal to x square. F of x is equal to x square. If f of x is equal to x square, we also should find f of x plus delta x. Okay, so we know that f of x is equal to x square, and we can calculate, okay, we can calculate f of x plus delta x. Okay, what is f of x plus delta x? Okay, this value. Okay, this value can be written as x plus delta x the whole square. Alright, friends. Can we expand x plus delta x the whole square using a plus b the whole square? What is a plus b the whole square? A square plus b square is delta x the whole square plus 2 into ab. What is b? Delta x. Okay. Now I'm just going to substitute in the formula. Slope is equal to, what is the formula? F of x plus delta x minus f of x the whole term divided by delta x. What is f of x plus delta x? We have f of x plus delta x is nothing but x plus delta x the whole square. So I'll substitute here. Okay, x plus delta x the whole square. Okay. Minus, what is f of x actually? F of x is nothing but the given function x square divided by, we have delta x. Okay, students. Now we will expand slope as we'll again use the formula a plus b the whole square. What is a plus b the whole square? A square plus b square plus 2ab. So which is x square plus, okay, a square plus b square. B square is delta x the whole square. Delta x the whole square plus 2 into a. What is a actually? A is x into delta x. Okay. Minus, you have x square minus x square. The whole term is divided by delta x. Correct. Now like terms we can add, we can subtract. Minus x square plus x square will get cancelled. So what is remaining? Delta x the whole square plus 2x into delta x divided by delta x. Corrections. Now compare the two. Delta x is common. Can I take common out? I'll take delta x common out. What is remaining? Delta x plus, you have 2x, because I have taken delta x out, divided by delta x. Delta x will get cancelled. So what you have? Delta x plus 2x. Alright. And what is the concept? The delta x should tend to 0. Corrections. Delta x if tend to 0, so 0 plus 2x. So the derivative f dash of x, again, right, derivative is equal to 2x. Or I can write this as f dash of x. Instead of that, I can write as dy by dx is equal to 2x. This is how we arrived at the result. It's a very lengthy process. Don't get puzzled. This, I just want to show to you guys how we are getting the value of differentiating x square. Okay, when you differentiate x square, you get 2x. Am I right, friends? When we differentiate x square, we get 2x. What principle we applied here? We just applied the slope concept, f of x plus delta x minus f of x, the whole term divided by delta x. Okay, so differentiation of x square, basically differentiation of x square is 2x. Okay, that's why the mathematicians, okay, they have written the formula. The basic power rule of differentiation is, this is the basic very important rule you have to remember, the power rule. Okay, if you know the power rule, the others are going to be very easy. Differentiation of x to the power n is equal to n times x to the power n minus 1. Okay, so here in this example, what we did, we have differentiated x square. Am I right? We took this function f of x is equal to x square. So I'm applying in this formula. What is n actually? N is 2. The power of n is 2. The power is 2. So n is equal to 2. Substitute in the formula. 2 times x to the power n minus 1. What is n actually? 2 minus 1. Which is equal to 2 times x to the power 2 minus 1 is 1. So x to the power 1 is x only. Okay. 2x. This is the basic concept of differentiation. Okay, students. Okay, now we'll see the next example. If I'm going to take differentiation of x cube, how we are going to differentiate x cube? We'll use this formula, n into x to the power n minus 1. So what is n actually here? 3 into x to the power n. What is n? 3 minus 1. So 3 into x to the power 3 minus 1 will give you 2. This will be your dy by dx, which is 3x squared. I'll solve some more problem in this, so don't get panicking or puzzled. Just understand the basic concept of calculus in this video. Okay, this is the basic rule. The power rule is n into x to the power n minus 1. And what we discussed the meaning of differential calculus. Differential calculus is nothing but cutting something into pieces to find how it changes. It is a branch of maths which deals with the study of rate of change of functions. This calculus comes from the Latin word small
Sir Isaac Newton and Leibniz independently,
both of them independently work together to find the
and developed developed the concept calculus.
And
both
then
of them
we also
independently worked.
Introduction to derivatives. Derivative is nothing but slope. Differentiation is nothing but slope. dy by dx. Change in y variable divided by change in the x variable. Okay. And then we also discussed how we got the function f of x is equal to x square. The derivative of x square is nothing but 2x. Right? We also discussed how we got this dy by dx is equal to 2x. Okay, how we got this actually? Using the geometrical representation of derivatives. Okay, this is the concept, and we got the formula slope. Finally, the slope limit del x should tends to 0. And the formula is f of x plus delta x minus f of x, the whole term divided by delta x. Okay, students. And I'll give you basic problems. I'll be solving some of the basic problems in my next video. Okay. And if you have any doubt, you can catch me every day in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in VLE chat. Okay. So that I can clarify your doubts. Yeah, students. And in my next video, I'll be telling you the problems to be solved. Till then, have a great day. Complete the notes, copy the notes along with this video, okay, in your maths classwork. Have a good day. Bye.